Now, we have a lot of things to show you out here this afternoon, and of course we're not going to show you the entire product line that is available to the mining industry or the entire product line from Caterpillar. Certainly we are going to give you what we hope is a good representative sampling of the number of products available for you in the mining industry today from Caterpillar. We're also going to show you a little bit of support equipment, because support equipment, utility type applications at the mine are important in a lot of different areas. So we want to talk just briefly about that. So what we're going to do is bring out some of the machines that you're going to see in the demonstration. We're going to bring them all out at the same time. Working out in front of you, the Caterpillar D8N. That little 285 horsepower tractor is demonstrating differential steer that's available with the D8N, and we'll talk more about that as we go through the show. The 834 high-speed, very mobile wheeldozer moving in. On your left, the 16G motor grader, the largest of 6 different G-series machines available to you today. Coming down the hill, one of 7 different trucks available from Caterpillar today, anywhere from 40 ton all the way up to 240 ton. That's the 777. There goes the 785 right in front of you. Here's the 16G, the largest of our G-series motor graders. And as the 16G goes by, coming in right behind me, a pair of 637 high-speed twin-engine scrapers. We have 3 different sizes of high-speed scrapers in the twin-engine line available today. 637 is about 31 cubic yards capacity, and we'll show those to you in our demonstration as well. So there are a lot of products that we're going to talk about. Our big 777 has dumped his 95 ton or better payload out there because we want to use that in the demonstration. But right now, I'd call your attention as the 777 gets out of the way. Look at our track type tractors right up to your left on the berm. You notice they're all advancing at the same time. They're carrying a very big load out in front of those blades. Track type tractors in mining are very important to you, and Caterpillar is dedicated to providing you a complete line so that you can match the tractor to the kind of application you're in. These track type tractors are moving one big load of dirt. They're moving it all at one time. From our big D11N on the left, right down to the 285 horsepower D8N that you saw earlier. Next to the D11 is the D10N, the D9N, and then the D8N. 1,945 horsepower there, carrying one big blade load right over the berm. Track type tractors from Caterpillar available for the mining industry. A very small sampling of 26 different configurations of track type tractors available to you from Caterpillar today. Now, as they maneuver around out there and get into position to do a little bit of work, let's take a look at this D8N for just a second. I mentioned to you that D8N has differential steering. And the new D8N, and we've improved the differential steering because we've added another pump. It's a 2-pump system that we're using in the D8N. One pump is strictly for the differential steering. And let's show you briefly how it works as we pick the machine up. Notice both tracks are moving at the same time. The left one's moving a little bit faster than the right one. He's simulating a gradual turn. Now he can spot turn that tractor, turn it very slowly, gives him a lot of maneuverability. And in forward or reverse, the point is the track are always live. Of course, having live track means that you have better overall tractive effort, better control of the vehicle, and you get into those nice smooth turns, or you can make the spot turn anytime you need to. The D8N with differential steer. Now we'll demonstrate what we're talking about. We'll put it down on the ground where it really belongs and do a little bit of maneuvering out here to demonstrate the differential steer capability. Look, as he turns left, then right, comes right back, has the capability to make a nice wide sweeping turn or a spot turn. This size tractor is excellent for working on a bench. And of course, having that added maneuverability that you get from differential steer adds to the overall capability of the machine. Does a little dozing, and as he does a little dozing, picks up a blade load. You notice again he's using differential steer to maneuver the tractor even while he's dozing. And then of course he can carry that blade, put that load where he wants it by using diff steer. I'm going to move over right now and take our 95 ton load, probably a little better than 95 ton, and clean it up to show you that the 285 horsepower D8N is a very capable tractor of moving an awful lot of material in a short time. And while he does that, we're going to put our D10N and our D9N to work. We want to give you an opportunity to take a look at these two tractors, so we're going to run them in a staggered fashion so you can see them both working. Now, if these tractors get a blade load, what they're really demonstrating for you out here is an application technique that a lot of you are already using, and of course is called slot dozing. Slot dozing gives you the ability to make a nice long slot, carry big blade loads, move a lot of material in a short amount of time, and keep the cost very low. And what's nice about these big tractors is that the larger the tractors that we're developing today, slot dosing has become even more effective, up to 500 feet. It used to be around 300 feet was a very effective nomenclature for slot dosing. Now we can carry it all the way out to 500 feet. The efficiency still goes up and the costs come down. The D10N gets a blade load. Look at the blade. Notice how close it is to the tractor on all of these track-type tractors. Caterpillar developed the tag link design, which helps get that blade tucked in nice and close to the tractor. We get good down pressure by mounting the cylinders the way we do. And getting the blade nice and close means that the tractor is a lot shorter, so it's got better overall maneuverability. The operator has excellent visibility to each corner of the blade. He's got the power shift transmission, single lever control. He can go in reverse and forward very quickly. Watch the big D10N as it walks over the pile to demonstrate the bogie undercarriage system on this tractor. Bogie undercarriage means that the undercarriage will conform to any object over which it runs. Being able to conform to the object gives you more track on the ground. More track on the ground gives you better tractive effort. Better tractive effort gives you increased overall production capability. The D10N, the D9N, and the D8N, of course, only 4 tractors, including the D11, and a complete line of track-type tractors. Speaking of the D11, we know you'd like to see it working. So we're going to do a little backfilling with it right now, just to give you the opportunity to watch this big 770 horsepower do its thing. 21-foot blade on there as a U-dozer capable of carrying a nice big load right out in front of him. The operator's sitting in a very quiet, comfortable cab with ROPS protection. And he has all of the same features on this D11N that you've come to expect from track-type tractors. Single lever power shift transmission for on-the-go shifting capability. Means he can be very fast. He doesn't have to slow his operation. The elevated sprocket design gets that sprocket in final drive up out of the shock loads, if you will. If he were working out here in rock, he'd be experiencing a lot of shock loads. By elevating the sprocket, we have the capability to get that sprocket in final drive out of the shock loads, increase the life, lower the cost. In addition to that, it helps us balance the tractor. The tractor can be perfectly balanced for the application in which we place this machine. Now, the bogie undercarriage system, as I mentioned, does help conform to the object over which it runs, but it also smooths out the ride for the operator, absorbs a lot of the shock loads so they don't go through the frame. A lot of different advantages in this elevated sprocket bogie undercarriage design. And of course, even on the D11, we've gotten the blade nice and close, so he has a good visibility to both corners of that blade. Excellent maneuverability. You'll also notice the D11 has a ripper on the back. All 4 of these tractors have a ripper. Ripping is very important in mining around the world today, and it's becoming much more cost-effective than blasting. Now, it needs a little help because we got to get on with this show. So to do that, coming in right now are 3 wheel dozers that are available through the Caterpillar network all around the world. The 824, the 834, and the big guy out here behind me, the 690B from Tiger. The 690 from Tiger was introduced in the early 80s. This is a machine that was engineered and designed by Tiger Corporation, Tiger Engineering Company, in Australia. And since the early 1980s, when it was first introduced, many improvements have been made to the Tiger machine. 690 horsepower, 20 cubic yards of material out in front of that blade. It's available with a cold blade that carries 50 cubic yards of material. And this machine is excellent for working in the fill. It's excellent for cleaning up around shovels. All of these machines give you the high speed and mobility that you need for those kinds of applications. The Tiger 690 really is a 992-seat power plant, powertrain frame, and it's totally built off of the 992 Caterpillar and is available through the Caterpillar network. The 824, about a 6-yard loose cubic yard blade on there. The 834, about a 9 loose cubic yard blade on that machine. Single lever power shift transmission, 35 degrees of articulation left or right. All of those things add to the speed and maneuverability of these vehicles, which are excellent in mining applications. So if you have a need for a very high-speed, maneuverable wheel tractor today, you might consider the Caterpillar 824, the 834, or the Tiger 690B. Here are a couple of high-speed scrapers coming in at very fast speed to give you the idea of their capability in terms of moving down the haul road. We've got a pair of 637Es from Caterpillar, 31 cubic yard capacity. Now normally they're going to carry about 25 cubic yards as they get loaded. We're going to demonstrate a method that Caterpillar introduced many, many years ago that's still effective today, probably more effective than ever for helping load them very quickly, keep the cost low, the production high. We're talking about push-pull. This is how it works. The scraper out front has already got the cutting edge down, getting a nice load in that low, wide bowl design that helps that material kind of jump into the scraper bowl. And then as he gets it loaded, he picks up the cutting edge, uses the hook on the back of his scraper to catch the bail on that second scraper. And now instead of being push-loaded by the second scraper, he's pulling it. So we have the push-pull system. This is Caterpillar trained dirt. You notice how quickly it jumps into that scraper bowl. Well, actually, it's because of the design of the scraper bowl. Nice, low, wide bowl gets it completely loaded. And in less than a minute, we've got 50 cubic yards of material ready to head for the haul road. That's high-speed loading. That's high production. A lot of times when you're opening a cut or you're starting your stripping operation, you don't need twin-engine scrapers. You don't need scrapers that need to be push-loaded or work together as our 637s do. But when it comes to work-alone scrapers, here's a couple of paddle wheels, if you will. We call them elevating scrapers. Many of you call them paddle wheels. The 623 from Caterpillar, 21 cubic yard of capacity is what he'll normally carry. And the all-new 633X. We call it the X because this is the experimental model. This is the prototype. We plan to introduce the 633 in 1993. We discontinued it in 1985 because the demand fell off sharply for this kind of a scraper. The demand has come back and it's increased tremendously, and so we're bringing back the 633, only this time he's going to have 34 cubic yards of capacity and about 490 horsepower. In about a minute's time, we'll have both of these scrapers loaded and ready to go. Notice our 637s have come back to show you just how quickly, once they've run down the haul road, they can come into the fill, dump that load. Raise the scraper bowl a little bit, bring the apron up, hit the ejector, and meter the material right out of the scraper bowl. Now he has the capability to lay that material out there on the fill in any lift thickness he desires, and he also has the capability to dump it in a very controlled mode. And so that's very important. Caterpillar scrapers are designed to do that. The 623, the 633 have run the haul road, so to speak, and they've come into the fill area this time to show you the way they dump their load. Watch the floor on these machines. These floors roll back. They don't slide back. They roll back, and then the material starts coming out of the scraper bowl. As it does so, the operator pulls the ejection lever and starts pushing the material right out of the bowl. Again, the capability to lay that in there in a nice lift thickness, lay it in fairly smooth so that you don't have to do a lot of work on the fill once you bring the material in. And as our scrapers finish up, I'd ask you to look to the left coming in right now. 3 of a line of 6 articulated motor graders from Caterpillar in the G-Series. We introduced the G-Series motor grader way back in 1973. It's kind of become the standard of the industry, and we have continued to improve on the design of G-Series motor graders. Leading the way, probably the most popular motor grader in the world today in terms of numbers of them out, 140G. That 140G, as you're looking at it, is the variable horsepower arrangement. And what variable horsepower means that on the 140, standard horsepower is 150 horsepower. And that's true on this motor grader when you're in first or second gear. As you shift from 3 through 6, it jumps to 180 horsepower. You move the same load, but you move it a lot faster. The 140G has a 14-foot blade on it. The 14G, the next size up here, has a 14-foot blade, is available with a 16-foot blade. And then the big guy of our motor grader line, the one that you all use for haul road maintenance an awful lot, the big 16G motor grader with a 16-foot blade. Notice as they move down behind me and start to turn around, how they use their articulation and their wheel lean to get very tight maneuverability in a small space. Even the big 16G can turn around in a very short area, very tight turning radius. As they make their second pass back, I draw your attention to the operator. He's sitting down in the operator's compartment, has the control pulled back in his lap, using one of 5 positions available to him on the steering wheel to get as comfortable as he possibly can. And then with full hydraulic controls, it takes very little effort, very little movement with the fingers to get full, quick response from the hydraulic controls on the motor graders that you're looking at right now from the G-Series line at Caterpillar. True sit-down operation, true hydraulic motor graders. Now, I mentioned to you we want to talk about support equipment, and we also want to talk about utility applications. Let's start with support equipment first of all. If you'll look up on top of our rock pile right now, moving into position, this is a Caterpillar 235 hydraulic excavator, and he's equipped with a rather large hammer. This is a 170B hammer from Balderson. Balderson offers many different attachments available for Caterpillar machines today. In fact, that 170 will fit on the large 245 as well. The 170 will beat about 300 to 400 beats per minute, has the capability of breaking up large rock, getting them to the size that you can load them out, weighs about 7,000 pounds, and exerts about 6,000 pounds of force. Just that quickly he breaks up a big rock, and right down below him we've got another little rock breaker on our little 426 Backhoe Loader. Now, I haven't been around too many mines that I haven't seen backhoe loaders working. I haven't seen construction projects going on up near the shop, new shops being built. So certainly utility applications are important, and we just want to remind you that Caterpillar has a complete line of utility type machines. Sitting out in front of you right now, this is the 446 Backhoe Loader. We make 4 basic sizes of backhoe loaders in several configurations. He has the new hydraulic excavator boom that we're just introducing on our 416, the smallest backhoe loader. We've improved a lot of things on the backhoe loaders since we came out with them. And we only introduced backhoe loaders about 6 years ago at Caterpillar. In that time, we're fastly approaching our 30,000th sale of backhoe loaders. So in 6 years, I think that says they've been very well accepted. They're an excellent machine. Will do an awful lot of work. This new excavator style boom gives it good digging capability, has plenty of reach, plenty of dig depth, and also improves his overall visibility. Another machine we introduced not very long ago, I think it's been about 5 years now, is the IT, or integrated tool carrier. At Caterpillar, the integrated tool carrier is much like a wheel loader, except from the articulation joint forward, it's a lot different. Here's the IT-28B. This is the largest of our integrated tool carriers, and he is equipped today with what we call a claw. This is made by Tink Corporation. And in mining, we have seen a lot of these out working, and we're going to simulate one of the jobs that they do. Let's assume that the boom on the back of that 446 is a conveyor belt. You spend a lot of time cleaning up under conveyor belts, and it's not easy to do. With the integrated tool carrier and that claw, which has a flat steel floor, reach under the belt, pick up the load, and you'll leave a nice smooth surface. The integrated tool carrier, we make 4 basic models of this as well, and I've seen people take the hooks off the back of these attachments and put them on welders, put them on toolboxes, put them on cable carriers, all kinds of applications and things that you want to move around the yard. Integrated tool carriers. Now let's continue and talk about mining for just a minute. Because, wait a minute. Excuse me, folks. I think we have a little problem here. Rock? Rock? Hey, Rock. What do you think you're doing? This is a mining show. It's not an agricultural show. What's going on? Yeah, you see the area, and you're going to show off with your ag machine. Nice thing. Well, it's about the only machine Rock's got in the show, and he thinks he needs to be in it. And as silly as it sounds, we're bringing this machine in because it actually is being used in mining today at many jobs around the world in different ways. That rubber-tired belt system that we've got under the Challenger 65 and 75 at Caterpillar gives you excellent flotation, excellent maneuverability, high speed capability, works in very poor underfoot conditions, and can climb very steep grades. We've seen miners take this and actually put rock drills on the side of them to drill holes and be very mobile. We've seen them use them to pull towed scrapers. Look at him as he went up that 3-to-1 slope. Very fast, very maneuverable. Use your imagination, and there certainly might be an application for a Challenger in your mining operation today. At Caterpillar, we have a complete line of off-highway trucks to meet your mining needs. We're going to show you 5 of the 7 trucks available in the Caterpillar lineup of off-highway trucks today. Moving in right now, the big 789, 195-ton capacity. And parking next to him, the 785 at 150-ton capacity. The all-new 777C, just introduced in August of this year, at 95 tons of capacity. The 775B, just introduced Quarry Truck at 65 tons of capacity. And the 773B at 58 tons of capacity. Now, two trucks we don't have in this show, the big 793 at 240 ton and the small 769 at 40 ton. So we have trucks that range from 40 ton all the way up to 240 ton to fill your needs in mining today. Now we're going to take them all up the grades out here and dump these trucks because we want to do a little bit of talking about truck loader matching in just a minute. So you might want to pick out your favorite truck and watch him dump. But as they move up, I'd like to call your attention to the 775B Quarry Truck. This is an all-new truck we're just introducing. This truck is excellent for quarry applications because it'll work on haul roads of about 1,000 foot or less. It'll work on grades of 8% or less. Has excellent braking capability, but let's show you why it's designed for quarry work. It has a flat floor in it as compared to the other floors that you find in Caterpillar mining trucks. Quarry truck, you want a flat floor so you can dump the load very quickly. Dump it into a hopper, dump it into a crusher. You want to get it out of the truck. And as he dumps that 775, you see how quick the material comes out, and you see how flat the floor is on that 775. And that's what makes it, one of the things that makes it certainly excellent for working in quarry type applications. As he gets out of the way, our 789 is going to dump that load of rock. Our three trucks are dumping their dirt right back over here where we got it a little bit earlier. And again, as you pick out your favorite truck, now you can really notice the difference in bed design. In the Caterpillar off-highway trucks that we use in mining today, the beds are designed, first of all, the floor slopes towards the center to help you give good retention of material once you load it. We use the ducktail design on the back of the truck to retain that material when you're going up steep slopes. Little things like that are very important in overall design of trucks. Well, here goes a big load of rock as we put it right back. The 789's up there, and then you get a good chance good opportunity to look at the floor on that truck as well. And while you're doing that, you'll notice coming into our area a couple of more different kinds of trucks that can be used in mining applications and other applications around the world. These are only two of a complete line of articulated trucks available to you from Caterpillar. Of course, articulated trucks are the ideal truck for working in very poor underfoot conditions. Nothing else can run. These can extend the job, or you can get the job done when you may not do it with anything else. They're oftentimes more economical than scrapers. You have to evaluate your total system needs, but don't forget the articulated trucks because they certainly can be a valuable asset to you. The D40D is a 4x4. Its big brother here, the D400D, is a 6x6 all-wheel drive truck. Now that D400 is excellent in poor underfoot conditions, but it's also excellent in very steep grades. In fact, all of these articulated trucks work well on steep grades. They don't go flying up the grade. This is a steep 3-to-1 slope. And you'll notice this 6x6 truck, it will have no problem, even in poor underfoot conditions, negotiating a 3-to-1 slope. Excellent weight to horsepower ratio is what gives them that good climbing capability to get up a nice steep slope. The 30% over there on your far left, you see the D40, even negotiating that with a 4x4 system. We're going to talk about wheel loaders in mining, but I'm not sure what's going on. Jim, what are you doing with this 910 out here? I said wheel loaders in mining, yeah, but Jim, when it comes to mining, that ain't no wheel loader, partner. But when I was talking about wheel loaders in mining, folks, these are wheel loaders in mining. And I'm talking about the 992. Introduced way back in 1969, we've made many improvements to the 992. Get your camera ready. This is going to be a great opportunity to look at quite a contrast here. Those 992s on your left and your right, look at that. That operator can't even see the operator in the 992. I hope he doesn't get flattened out there. What a contrast. Look at that little bucket. He's going to make one more pass so you shutter bugs can get another picture if you like. I sure hope he gets out of there soon, though. I'm getting a little worried about this. I think he's gotten the idea. Okay. Well, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to loaders in mining, the 992 has kind of become the standard in the industry in terms of mining applications today. You'll notice here we've got two 992s. One happens to be the 992C, one the 992D. We've made an awful lot of improvements since we introduced that first 992 back in 1969. And the result today is the all-new 992D, and I'd like to bring them up and talk a little bit about the differences in the two 992s that we have out here. We have about 3,000 of these working around the world today. They're extremely popular. I'd ask you to watch that 992C, though, on the left, first of all. These are pretty similar. The 13.5 spade nose rock bucket on the 992C. On the D, it's a 14-yard spade nose rock bucket. Both of them have 690 horsepower. Both of them have power shift transmissions. A lot of similarities, and certainly all the design improvements that have made this machine so popular. But the real changes in the 992D are in the term of the operator's compartment. We want the operator to be very comfortable and very productive, and so we made a lot of changes. Watch them as they turn to the right. Look at that 992C. He's using that steering wheel to maneuver that machine. It takes a lot of upper body strength, even from a big operator like this, to turn it right or left. The 992D, however, you'll notice as they turn, his hands aren't even moving. Well, his left hand is moving slightly because he's got it on what we call the stick control. You got a chance to see it up there today, hopefully. The stick control is a natural movement of the operator's arm, left or right, to be highly maneuverable. Now, another function, of course, they do in wheel loading is going forward and going back. Watch the 992 as he backs up. Reaches up, pulls back the single lever control for the transmission, and then pushes it forward to move the machine forward. Imagine loading trucks all day long, fighting the steering wheel, moving the shift lever. You really fatigue the operator. But when you've got the stick system, such as we now have on the 992, the operator doesn't move his hand this time. He moves his fingers because he has a little rocker switch there that he'll rock from forward to reverse, reverse to forward, whatever he needs to do. And in addition to that, then his thumb just hits two buttons to change the speeds to second to third. Many improvements in the 992s, but the major improvements are in the way they work, and we're going to show that in just a second. However, we want to complete our lineup. You saw the small 910 out here, and what's really incredible about the Caterpillar wheel loader system today is we really do get concerned about being able to match loaders to the truck systems, and so we have a complete lineup. Our 988B down here, a 7.25-yard spade nose rock bucket. Our all-new 980F, the F series, is becoming very popular very fast. 5.5 cubic yard bucket on it. So you can choose from the 1.25-yard small 910 if you want to, right up to the largest wheel loader that we're manufacturing today. And I'm speaking of the 994, because here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, the 994. This happens to be the high lift version, 21 cubic yard bucket. And now let's put the 910 right out here in front of it. In fact, we thought about loading the bucket and driving out with the 910, but we were afraid OSHA might get a little bit upset. Take a look at this 994, 910 as we ask them to raise their buckets and go through the lift cycle. This high lift version has about 18 more inches of dump clearance and reach than the standard 994. The buckets designed on the 994 give you about 120% fill factor. With this 21 cubic yard bucket, we're consistently looking at 25 cubic yard loads with the big 994. Excellent dump clearance, very fast dump action, has all of the features that you've come to expect from Caterpillar wheel loaders. All those reliable improvements that were made to the 992 certainly are in the 994, and we'll talk to you about it as we do a little bit of truck loading out here in just a moment. As I mentioned, truck loader match is very important to you in terms of your overall productivity. We're going to show you several systems available from Caterpillar today in terms of truck loader match and technique. Obviously, the very first thing we're going to show you is the 992 loading the 775. That's called T-loading. The truck comes in, he gets spotted, the loader's already got a bucket load, he hits him with that first pass. And now the truck can go ahead and get spotted while the operator's already going in to get the second pass. That's a little technique that can improve your overall loading capability and lower your costs. He's already got the second load. It'll take about 3 passes from the 992 to load our 65-ton 775 quarry truck. I mentioned to you that quarry truck is designed specifically for quarry applications. He's using the stick system to manipulate that 992 in a very quick fashion. All he has to do, of course, use the stick system, work at an angle to the truck, uses 35 degrees of articulation. Excellent crowding ability with a variable capacity torque converter that helps him control wheel spin, and he'll have our truck loaded in no time. Our 988 is over here loading our 773B, our 58-ton truck. The 988 is a standard machine that you're looking at right there, 7 1/4 yards. However, it too is available in the high lift version. That gives it the capability to load even larger trucks than that 773. Our 775 completely topped off in 3 passes from our 992. Makes a nice match for loading that truck in a hurry and getting him ready to run down the haul road. Of course, that 775 has all the reliable systems that you'd want to see and expect from Caterpillar trucks. Good braking capability, good gradeability as well. Our 773, 58 tons, completely loaded. He's going to move up on top. Our 988 do a little bit of cleanup work like any good operator as he gets ready to leave. And our 992 is moving over because we've got another system or technique that we would like to show you because we've seen this in mining operations around the world. This is called chain loading. And this time we're going to use 3 992s to show you how to really increase your overall efficiency. You got a lot of trucks and loaders on your mining operation and you want to improve efficiency because you have a very large need for high production capability. This is how you do it. This is the 777C, the all-new 777 introduced in August this year, 95 tons of capacity. Watch how quickly we load that 777 using the chain loading method with 992s. 1 pass into the truck has already taken place. There goes the second pass. And he moves forward to get hit with a 3rd pass, and he is ready to go. Completely loaded, 95 tons of material, bang, 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 using the chain-loaded method. Now you can imagine if you had a lot of trucks stacked up out there, how very efficient this system is. Certainly lowers the cost, increases the overall production. Another technique that you might want to consider in mining of the future. All right, we're going to bring our 777B back right now because we've got yet another technique that we find being used an awful lot around the world in various applications where you've got these size trucks and loaders where you have big production requirements. This is called tandem loading, and you'll see how it works very easily, very fast. The 992 777 are really an excellent 4-pass match. We'll demonstrate that by using 2 992s and tandem loading. Now in tandem loading, our first 992 has already put the pass in and he started in to get his second buckled load. As he does that, the second 992 clears the bed with his first pass and is ready to proceed back into the pile. First 992's already got his bucket load. He's backing up, works at a good angle. Very fast hydraulics to get that bucket raised very quickly. Good bucket fill factor, as you can see there. Good material retention. Fast dumping action. And there goes the 3rd pass already into the 777 and the 4th pass into the 777. Tandem loading can certainly increase the overall efficiency and bring that cost down as well. So that's another one of the techniques that you might consider in mining applications. Now, as we finish up with that particular operation, our 777 is going to climb the hill and go dump that load. Here comes our 777C back. This time, we're going to load the 777 with the 992. The 2 of them by themselves, because this is, of course, the most common scene application for these 2 vehicles. And you talk about truck loader match. This is probably one of the most excellent truck loader matches you'll find around the world. The 992 is a really good match for that 95-ton truck. He'll four-pass loading, and he'll do it very, very quickly. And with this 992D, of course, and the new stick control and the high maneuverability, the very fast hydraulics, plenty of dump clearance, as you can see, to load that 777C and even larger trucks with the 992. Now, I might mention that 777C we just introduced, as I think I said, in August this year. That is equipped with a 3500 series engine and the smart components, as we call them, the components that really monitor a lot of systems on the truck. It has the electronic unit injection. It has the new electronic transmission controls, easier, more efficient diagnostics, automatic retarder control in these larger trucks. On the 777C, though, those smart electronics do an awful lot of things for the vehicle. One of the things that you see right off the bat is you hardly see any smoke coming out of that truck, because the electronic unit injection controls the amount of fuel going through the engine, doesn't let it build up, doesn't give you a lot of smoke, gives you high fuel efficiency, and overall excellent capability with this truck in terms of monitoring all the systems on board. 992 makes the fourth pass into the 777C. And we're going to bring our 785 back right now as he moves in behind me. This time we're going to use the big guys, as I like to say, to do a little bit of loading. You're really going to get a chance to see this 994 in action, because we're going to load both the 785 and the 789 for you in just a second. Well, I guess I could tell you, he really wants to get that 777 loaded over there, and he's making one more pass with that 992. But let's watch the 994. You know, one of the most amazing things I find about this 994 is we've got about 24 of them working around the world right now. The productivity is excellent, the reliability is incredible, and these things will cycle very quickly. They'll cycle almost with the 992C, and yet they're just about twice as big in terms of size. Now, as he quietly and gently places that first load into the truck, watch the 994 and see how many passes it takes him to load the 785. Excellent ability, crowding ability with that big loader. He's got box section frame that absorbs the shock loads and the twisting forces. He's got a 4-plate loader tower on that machine that resists the shock loading, protects the hydraulic lines and the cylinders. He's got 40 degrees of articulation that allow him to be highly maneuverable. And as you can see with the high lift version, plenty of reach and plenty of dump clearance to load the 785, the 789, and 18 inches makes a big difference between the standard machine and the larger machine. Now, the current bucket on the 994 is 18 foot 6 inches. The new cat bucket will be 19 foot 2 inches. And the new Wadco bucket will be 20 foot 2 inches. Well, here comes the 789 as our 785 is going to cycle our track and move up our 10%, 1,000 foot continuous grade out here. You'll see that 785 climb the grade, come back down the other side, come in and dump. But while he's doing that, our 994 high lift is going to show you what kind of a matchup we are with the 789. And by the way, it's an excellent matchup. We've done an awful lot of studies in the eastern coal fields, especially with the 794, 785, 789. Productivity ranges with the 785 and the 994 are excellent. We're looking at about 3,000 ton per hour. When you look at the production with the 994 and the 789, you're probably somewhere around 3,800 ton realistically per hour. Now, on the 789, if you can see just on the side of that truck, and you're not going to be able to see it because of the angle, but these trucks also have the payload monitoring system. Sensors on the rear struts of the truck start sensing the payload the minute the first pass is made into the truck. The sensors will sense when that truck is completely loaded, and then the red light will start to come on to tell the operator he's got one more pass he can make into the truck. When he makes that pass, he's completely loaded. When the truck goes out to dump, it resets the system, and so the operator really knows how many passes it's going to take because the computer figures it out as they start to load the truck. When he gets the number of passes he needs to be fully loaded, he's ready to head down the haul road. Another little thing that really helps the efficiency of the vehicle. Now our 785 has already cycled up to 10%, started down the other side, but you didn't miss much because we're going to do the same thing with the 789, only we're going to show you some braking on that 10% as well. So I wasn't too worried about catching it right now, but we will show it to you with the 789 when he's completely loaded. Notice how smooth the operator runs that 994. It's an excellent operator, and what he's trying to do, of course, is take care of the vehicle, keep the production high and the cost low, and you do that by being very consistent in your truck loading application. Spotting the truck, putting him exactly where you want him, working at a right angle to that truck so you keep the maneuver time down, you keep the cycle time as low as you possibly can. And I don't know if you've had a watch on this 994, but clock those cycles if you'd like to. 785 kindly brought us some more rock so we can keep loading this 994. But at least they didn't cheat. He didn't dump it into the bucket. We had that happen the other day. Good crowding ability from this half track. It helps him have good crowding ability. Excellent breakout force from that 994. And then once he breaks that material out, you see the excellent fill factor. Even in rock, these buckets from Caterpillar are designed to give you the kind of fill factors you're looking for to help increase the overall productivity. At 120% fill factor, he's got about 25 yards in that 21-yard bucket. We're going to get this 789 fully loaded, I promise you, because we want to take that 789 all the way up our grade and run it down and bring it to a complete controlled stop, fully loaded. When this 789 is loaded, it'll be a 700,000-pound gross vehicle weight that we're hauling down the road. By the way, the operator in the operator's compartment, his eyeballs are sitting at about the 21-foot mark in that cab, just to give you an idea how big it is. Okay, he's loaded and ready to roll. Watch the 789 as he pulls out, fully loaded. He's going to start up our small grade over here, work his way all the way up to the top, and start down the grade. Now, we want him to do that because with 700,000 pounds of vehicle weight here, we're going to ask him to go down to 10% continuous grade and bring that truck to a controlled stop to show you the braking ability, also to show you the retarding ability that we've designed into the 789, 785, and all of our trucks. That 789 has an automatic retarder control, and we're going to show you a little bit about how that works and talk about it in just a second. We've got one more truck we'd like to load, though. We brought the 785 back, and we're going to do a little tandem loading of the 785 with the 992s. The reason we're doing this is to give you a good, clear picture of how well the 992 can handle a large truck like the 785 at 150 tons. Tandem loading, of course, is going to speed our operation and help us be highly productive while we load this 785. As the 992D and the 992C approach the 785 this time, take a look at the dump clearance and the reach they have. More than adequate for trucks of these size. These machines, the 992s, are an excellent truck loading system, have been highly accepted around the world, as you can gather, when we're talking about 3,000 or so 992s out there today. Tandem loading is going to make very short time of loading this 150-ton vehicle. Look at our big 789 up on top of the grade right now. Straight up on top of the hill is our 789, 700,000 pounds of gross vehicle weight. Watch him as he comes down that grade. 10%, 1,000 foot continuous grade. He's got that automatic retarder control, which gives him the electronic precision of retarding. Exactly controls engine speed, and that means he's got more consistent average speed, which is important. And once he gets it stopped using the all four-wheel oil disc brakes that we have on Caterpillar trucks, we've designed in plenty of torque to back that big 700,000 pounds of weight right back up the hill if you need to. That's very important in mining operations around the world today. Caterpillar delivers more horsepower to the wheels. We have more torque there to give you the capability you're looking for. A lot of trucks cannot do that out there today, especially electric drive trucks. The 789 can handle that with no problem. All right, well, let's bring some of these machines back to give you one final look at them. In fact, we're going to bring back many of the machines that we've shown you today as a final reminder of the many products Caterpillar and Caterpillar dealers the world over have to offer you in mining and mining systems. And we've got mining equipment for today and mining equipment into the 90s and beyond, we hope. And we're consistently striving to improve our equipment to help you improve your overall operation. If you need wheel loaders, dozers, wheel tractor scrapers, motor graders, articulated dump trucks, off-highway mining vehicles, whatever it may be, we've got the product and the product line to help you match your needs to your applications.